Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello?
Do you hear me?
Microphone.
Do you hear me?
I have it. I don't know why I can't hear you. The headset is connected. Maybe I have to call it back. Headset, Bluetooth. Hello?
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, now. Okay. I have, because I didn't press the right button, I have the headset.
It's
So,
all right, my friend.
okay.
What do you want to say to us? Go ahead. You are live now.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, basically, um, thank you, for all your work and stuff like that. I very appreciate it. I'm very grateful for that. And it's like you said before, Islam it's like a bazaar. When I first came into the religion, I was basically a Salafi and following the Saudi scholars and thinking, oh, I'm on the saved sect, because Muhammad said 73 groups all in the fire except one, and I was very proud to be I'm on the saved group. But then later you find all of these other groups claiming, oh, I am Salafi, the Jihadi, the Takfiri, and all these other groups, and it's basically like one big bazaar. You can pick and choose your beliefs as you fit. But I'm very grateful to finally, to leave the religion. I just wish it was a lot sooner. I wasted a lot of time, but it's just very good to have somebody like you here, and we definitely have to grow this work because it's very important. So. And I also wanted to talk to you about something I've been researching,
Yes.
basically Christianity again, because I grew up as a Roman Catholic, but I've been listening to a lot of books and I didn't feel comfortable, that I'm going to go back and be like an atheist or an agnostic. But I've been listening to this book called On the Incarnation by Athanasius of Alexandria. And something struck my mind, I'm starting to connect the dots like you. You have a gift for that, being able to connect the dots. And I heard him say that Jesus, for example, he was the sovereign over death, the sacrifice for death for us, to the point where nobody feared, the Christians didn't fear death anymore because they have, eternal life and they give their life up for the Lord, no problem. So many of them died. So he was the sacrifice for death for us. And then I remembered there was a hadith that I used to listen to, when I was a Muslim. It says, when everybody's in the paradise, the Jannah and the fire, the death will be brought in the form of a ram. I believe it's a black ram,
Right.
and it will be slaughtered. It will be slaughtered, and it will be said, "Oh, people of the fire, no death for you. You're going to be forever. Oh, people of the paradise, no death for you. Forever you will be." So I started connecting the dots in my head. You always say copy paste. This is very intriguing because the Muslim will say, "Oh, you believe," and I used to say this too to the Christian. You believe that a man, he died for you so you can have eternal life and da 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 da. But now you have a hadith and they believe the ram will be sacrificed for them and no, they will not be taken from the paradise, eternal life for them. So it's funny, when you could connect these dots, and you have a gift for that. I'm hoping my brain could start, thinking more like you. But
Well, I'm glad
yeah.
for you first that you left Islam, my friend, and good good always to to repair what the damage we do sometime in our life to ourselves. And I'm happy that you were able to notice that you are in the wrong place. But I want to ask you, when you became a Muslim, I mean, you used not to be a Muslim, and you became a Muslim. How they were able to convince you to join Islam? If you don't mind to share with us.
Well, I was going through, a depression, and I just feel like, obviously you see, the devil, he's very skillful, and how he, like you always say, copy paste, and he doesn't come to you with just 100% falsehood. So I found this religion. Oh wow, they have chapter Mary, they have Jesus, they have Quran, they have everything more than the Catholic. It's even better, it's more upgrade 2.0, So I felt like I was upgrading my faith, and there's something that was making more sense. Tawheed, which is nothing but ridiculous, like you said yesterday, or the not exactly like they want to speak about all the time. It's not exactly what they lie to you, and it's not the true meaning of what they say. So, and I felt that was the truth at the time. And then some of the things that they used to say that kept me in the religion was like, oh, how come when the scholars used to give the classes, they would say it's not possible that God would let Muhammad be 23 years and give him victory if he's a false prophet. Or they would say something like, I asked you the other day, but you didn't get a chance to answer. They would say, okay, Abu Lahab, he has the surah, where he's going to be in the fire with his wife. If Islam is false, all Abu, what's his name, Abu Jahl, or one of those, all they had to say was, yes, I believe in Muhammad. Now your Quran is false, but he died, not believing in Islam because, like the surah says. So they're trying to say that that's a real prophecy, it's true, and just silly things like this,
Well, about Abu Lahab, actually,
Yeah.
a person, let us say, how come the Muslims, they say that Muhammad prophesied about Abu Lahab, but they don't mention that Muhammad, he said that they will never accept your religion. The Quran said that the people of Quraysh, they will never accept your religion, and later, all of them convert to Islam.
Oh, okay. That's a good point.
All of
Wow.
them, who, as an example, the person, his name is Khalid ibn Walid, right?
Yes.
Okay, Khalid ibn Walid was
Yeah.
from the enemy of Allah. Okay, how Khalid
Yes.
ibn Walid became a Muslim?
Yeah, I remember in Uhud, he
Yeah,
was fighting the Muslim, and then
right.
he
He was on
converted
the other
later.
side. He was on the other side. So the Quran
Yep.
confirmed that you have your religion, I have mine, and you will never believe in what I believe. You will never believe, right? You will never believe.
Yes. That's right.
So, how you will never believe, and then they believe?
Okay.
And
That's true.
was Abu Lahab one of them? Yes, because it says they will all of them, they will never believe. If Abu Lahab is included, okay, Abu Lahab, he did not believe. But what about the rest?
Yeah, they believed.
And anyway,
Yes.
if there's any Muslim, he will say that the Quran does not say that. Well, here we go. We have the Quran in front of us. Who is the Muslim want to call me? And and show me that I'm not telling the truth. It says always I make fun of this chapter in the Quran because it's kind of funny, where it says,
Right.
I believe in what you when you believe not, and I will eat what you eat not, etc. It's falafel,
Right.
and then at the end we will find that all those who Muhammad was talking about them, they believe. Who is the one who did not believe? Abu Bakr, Abu Lahab, Okay, what about the rest? The chapter of Al-Kafirun, and this is the Muslim translation. Let me show it in the screen. Chapter 109, very few verses actually, the whole chapter. Say, O ye that reject faith, I worship not which you worship, nor you will worship which I worship. Do you see it? Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So refutation for what you said is very easy. I mean, what they told you about Abu Lahab, it's in front of you.
Right.
Here Muhammad, he predict that they will never worship what he worship, and he will not worship the worship, and both are broken. You remember the story where Muhammad, he bowed down to the daughters of Allah, and he said, their intercession is amongst the three daughters of Allah, the satanic verses. You remember them, right? So Muhammad here, he worshiped their idols, and then later they worship his idol. So Muhammad was a double false prophet twice. He said he will never worship their idols, and he did. And then he started actually praying to the Kaaba. Remember, Muhammad in the beginning, he was praying toward Jerusalem.
Right.
Okay, why Muhammad, he is in Mecca but praying toward Jerusalem?
Exactly like you said, just when you're in a weak state, and you have to appease the other group,
At that moment, Muhammad trying to convince the Arab that he is not a problem for them. He is a Jew. I am a Jew, because they have no problem with the Jews. So he's trying to appeal himself to the Jews, trying to make himself a Jew. So in the beginning, he is praying to Jerusalem. Okay, what Muhammad have to do with Jerusalem? At least at that moment, the Muslim, they say that Muhammad, he went to the Jerusalem by the dream, right? Okay.
Right.
At that moment, Muhammad did not go yet. So why he was praying to Jerusalem? No answer. The answer is very simple. Muhammad was trying to make himself more appealing to the Jews. Says, I am a Jew like you. To the point, look, I pray toward Jerusalem. Muhammad, he fasts the fast of the Jews. Why? To make them believe he's a Jew.
Right.
But the Muslims always, they have a very silly answers, and they don't expect you to be educated. And this is why they throw at you things which is very easy to refute. I mean, it will not take me a second even to get all the claims of Muhammad being a prophet to be busted.
Yeah, they don't expect you to be educated, but you know, a lot of books, and I bought so many, wasting money, translation wrong, and I tried to, you know, many of us when we convert, we want to go to, we applied to go to Medina, we want to learn the language, but I didn't get accepted, and I'm very happy now I didn't. But I learned, you know, to speak a little bit, read the Quran, but still, it's not enough to give you the right education and to understand. Later on, when you start getting wisdom and you listen to you can see, you know, this religion is nothing but a schizophrenia. One time it tells you to do this, another time, like even with my family, you know, you see, oh, he tells you paradise is under the feet of your mother, big for your family. I want to love my family. Another time, don't, you know, take friends like you said before with your father. So I was one day friendly with my family, another day, oh, they're filthy kafir, oh, they're dirty. You know, I was it make you crazy, really.
In the same time, how paradise is under the feet of your mother, but your mother will go to hell.
Right. Oh, that's a good point too. Good connection.
I mean, how stupid that is. You know, what they say to you, oh yeah, she go to hell, but you have to be good to your mother. But this is not a big deal. I mean, even the Arab who have no religion, they are good to their mothers. I mean, everybody is good to his mother. What a big deal. You know, why
exactly
why a human being will not be good to his mother? I mean, this is stupid not to be, unless you are an idiot or a criminal. Even criminals are good to their mothers. You know, maybe they kill outside, but when it's come to their mother, they kiss their hand. So Muhammad, he tried to make himself a prophet by adopting some teaching from other books, the same as they deceive you. They said, okay, you said to yourself, okay, well, they believe in Jesus, they believe in Mary, Virgin Mary, sound good, but this was to deceive you. You see, if somebody is a fraud and he is a thief, you want to go inside your house, is he going to knock at your door, say I'm a thief? No, he will wear a uniform of a cable guy, and he'll say, hey, I am a cable guy and I have my ID, and he hang a fake ID and he wear a uniform, and he say to you, I am from AT&T cable company, and I want to check the cable, please. And then you trust him because he's wearing a uniform. He go inside your bedroom, he is alone there, he asks you like, can you etc. check that thing, so he make you leave the room for a second, he open the drawer, he grab whatever he can find, and he leave. And then 2 days after, you found that your whatever things is gone, and then you say to yourself, what I did, they called the company, you find they never sent anyone. Muhammad, he used the uniform of the cable company. He needed the Jews book, he needed the Christian books, he needed all the names, which is very well known, to the point even he approved Alexander the Great. You know? Anyone is famous, is known, Muhammad, he put him in his book. The story of the 7 sleepers, Muhammad, he heard that the Christians, they teach in their churches the story of the 7 sleepers, but this is a fiction story written by a Christian bishop to teach the Christian youth about being patient, and because you will be victorious. Muhammad, he took it, he put it in the Quran in chapter 18, and then he made it as coming from Allah and true story, but this is a fiction story. All the Christians know that. So this man, he have no hesitation to copy anything around, you know. And you know, this is why we have to be careful as a Christians. Not everyone says to us, you know, something, we believe in him. So what if somebody came to me, I said I believe that Mary was virgin? Trust me, the Satan, the devil, he knew that too. Satan, he knew who was Jesus, he knew who was Mary. So I'm not going to take Satan to be my, you know, guidance just because he said I believe in Jesus to be God. Well, he knows who is God. There's no way that Satan don't know who's God. He knew. So we have to be careful, and we should not let them to play with our you know, let's say trust. Islam is a religion to play with the trust. Islam, Muhammad, you see, when a Muslim he speak to a white man as an example, he will not mention to him the slavery of the white man to the black man. Is that correct?
It's correct.
But when they speak to a black person to convert him, they say, do you know what the white man did to you? The white man, he enslaved you. He is
right. That's why they
the
black, when they usually convert, because you know, a lot of them, they become Salafi, and I was with them, they change their name. Oh, now he's Abdullah, he's this, you know, and they get rid of his slave name.
But they convince him that Islam is a religion which protect the slaves, and they will mention to him Bilal. They will not mention Bilal to a white man. They will mention Bilal to a black man. But Bilal,
it was interesting.
But Muhammad, but Bilal died. But Muhammad died, and Bilal is still a slave.
Right, exactly. I was going to say that. I heard you say last week that I never connected dots on that one. He was still a, so what the heck, you know?
So okay, Bilal is the first one. Do you know that the first one who called for the prayer was a black? He was a black slave. This is, say it as it is. Why Muhammad he owned this man? And he called for the prayer because he's a slave. The white man, the free man, he don't want to do that. It's a very hard job. 5 times a day, go scream. There's no microphone at that time. You have to wake up the whole town, go up to the roof where it's very hot. It's a scary desert, and he have to scream in the early morning. First one to wake up because he is a slave, not because it was not a luxury for him. It was a duty. Muhammad he ordered Bilal to call for the prayer. He did not ask Bilal. He did not say, hey, Bilal, do you like to be the one who called for the prayer? No, he ordered Bilal. And right now I changed the Muslim to call me right now to show him where Muhammad he ordered Bilal to call for the prayer.
Yep.
All right, my friend. Do you have any question? Anything you want to say? You want to add?
That's basically it. You know, I just, like I said, I was one of those people, you know, used to say, oh, your Bible, but meantime, the Quran, like you said, it's like, you know, yellow pages, couple verses saying this, couple verses more going now from this to the end to that. And I said, oh, but it's so beautiful, you know, it's like a rhyme, but it's not. It's like a rap music. You know, I was reading, blah, 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 you know, like sounds so good, but I'm glad I got past that. You know, I'm really grateful to God.
You remind me. I was talking to somebody about. Somebody said to me, "Do you know? But can you explain to me why the Quran recitation is beautiful?" I said, "Because they bring you someone have a nice voice. What about you hear somebody have an ugly voice reciting the Quran? Those guys, whatever recite, whatever they say, you will like it because they have a nice voice. It's not about because the Quran is you know, you don't even understand what he's saying." There's a Muslim sheikh from Saudi Arabia. The guy, actually the video on YouTube, the Muslim sheikh, they have like a conference in France, so people they speak French and they have a translator. So he said, today I'm going to make in front of you an experiment. I will invite one of you who is not a Muslim, and I will recite for him in Arabic 2 sentences. One is Quran and one is not a fake Quran. And I will ask him which one he like more. For sure, I guarantee you he will like the Quran. So he recite the Quran and he recite a sentence which he make it sound like the Quran. And then he asked the French guy, which one you like more? The French guy, he chose the one which is not the Quran.
Oh wow.
He said, okay, let me say it to you again.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, let me say it to you. Okay, you know what? Let me give me a second and I will find you the video where this guy, it's very embarrassing, but you know, but the point is, Quran always recited, especially those they posted in YouTube, etc., by somebody have a very nice voice. And
right, or they bring the small kids. When I used to go to the masjid, they bring the little, you know, in Ramadan, the 5-year-old, 6-year-old. Oh, it's miracle, and he recited in front of everyone. You know, it's just
yeah. And at the same time, they say to you that Islam is the only religion. Memorize the Quran. Children memorize the Quran. You will not find somebody who converted to Islam in age, which means he's a man who's growing adult. He knows the Quran by heart.
No.
So what they do, they make a child keep repeating him, beating him until he memorized the Quran from the age of 6 years old. At that time, I remember not until now, commercial I learned when I was a child. I can recite to you the commercial, which is, you know, on TV, like song for chocolate or etc.
Yeah.
Until now, it's in my head. When you are a child, you memorize anything. This is not because it's Quran, because you are a child. Anything you force people, you force children to learn it, they will learn it. Can you memorize the Quran when you are adult?
It's difficult, especially we convert and we don't have the language.
Nobody
you know,
can.
try.
Nobody. I challenge anyone to show me one Muslim who converted to Islam, and he was an Arab, not even you know, so that, to make it easier, and then he memorized the Quran by heart. Even Muhammad himself, he forget the Quran. Like Muhammad in the hadith, he said he heard a Muslim reciting the Quran. He said, you know, you remind me of verses I forgot and chapters I forgot about, you know, and
Right.
but this is the prophet.
Yeah.
The prophet himself is forgetting Quran, and he heard a Muslim saying the Quran, and he says, okay, well, I really you know, I appreciate that you remind me of them. Muhammad in different hadith, actually, he said memorizing Quran is the same as trying to hold the camel to a rope,
Oh yeah, the camel. Yeah.
you know, which means it's
Yeah.
very hard. You know, you cannot memorize the Quran. Trying to explain what? Trying to explain why he cannot memorize the Quran. And additional to that, Muhammad, this is why he came with the story or the lie that Allah he sent him the Quran in 7 letters. You know the story about the 7 letters, right?
Yeah. The
Okay.
seven qira'at or something
Okay,
like
why
yeah.
Allah did not send to Jesus his book in 7 letters?
Yeah.
Why he did not send it to Moses? Why he did not send
Very
it to
good.
any other messenger? The answer is very simple. Muhammad is a liar. And look,
It's good.
if
It's
you
good when you can connect the dots instead of like us. We say, "Oh, that's miracle." That's instead of now we're able to use wisdom, like what from you what you're teaching that you
well, you know,
connect
you
everything.
see, my
It's
friend, always if you want to understand something, you have to connect the dots together.
right.
It's like it's like, you know, a TV. It's a machine. It's a blind machine. Receive dots. Doesn't receive images. But TV doesn't receive
Right.
images. Receive dots, and then the machine put the dots next to each other to make a picture for you. So in
Yep.
order to always to have a picture, you have to connect the dots. And as you see here, Muhammad is saying to Jibril, when Jibril came to him with the Quran, he said to him, I beg you to tell Allah, I beg Allah his burden and forgiveness. My community has not the strength to do so. To do what? To remember the Quran. And Muhammad, he
Yep.
keeps saying that, and then he says clearly, they are not capable. Okay, they are not capable of what? To memorize the Quran. Okay, so what the solution? Give it to me in 2 letters. 2 letters, still they are not capable. Give it to me in 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7. Okay, where is the 7 recitation? How a small community in the time of Muhammad, they speak the same language of Muhammad, still they are not capable of reciting the Quran, but yet a child in Pakistan who you beat him until he died from beating, forcing him to learn the Quran, he can recite the Quran.
Right.
Those are Arab in his town, not a Pakistani in Pakistan. My people, he's talking about the Arab people. Those are Arab. There's nobody there who don't speak Arabic, but yet they are not capable of reciting the Quran in one recitation. So how the guy in Pakistan he recite the recitation of Hafs? It's one recitation.
Yeah.
So here the story, Muhammad is again is a false prophet because he claimed that they are not capable. And
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
again, you know, why Allah sending the Quran in one recitation and Muhammad is correcting Allah? What kind of God? Muhammad says to him, my people are not capable.
Yeah.
Who knows better, Allah,
Yes.
Allah or Muhammad? Shouldn't Allah from the beginning? It's Muhammad. It's Allah should say to Muhammad, like if the conversation should happen the opposite. Allah sent
Right.
Quran, and then he sent him second Quran. Muhammad he says, why the second Quran? Allah he will say to him, your people are not capable. That makes sense. But
Right.
God he sent Quran, and Muhammad he says to Allah, oh, my people are not capable, which means Allah do not know that they are not capable. And then Allah he made a
Yeah.
bazaar with him, so he sent him the second Quran, and Muhammad is still don't agree. He said, no, I want more. He sent him the third Quran, and still Muhammad don't agree until Muhammad is satisfied. Who is the one who
Yeah.
decide it is 7? It's Muhammad.
Whatever he, one of the things we used to say, oh, Islam is some kind of miracle because it came down in stages, like you said before, 23 years. But later, when you use your brain and you connect the dots, you can realize this is not showing truth or miracle. This is showing how absurd that Muhammad, he just make things as he go along, like, as a bazaar, just shopping. Oh, Jibril told me this. Allah told me this, correcting things, or even with the Banu Qurayza, as you mentioned before, Jibril came to me and said, why you put down your sword? I didn't put down my sword. And they went to kill them and, look at the pubic hair, which is disgusting. You know, I don't understand how I didn't see this before, and I could be a Muslim and look at that and not be disgusting. As a filthy man, you know, to go look at everybody's private parts and balls, and it's really, I'm very embarrassed.
It's okay, you know. I mean, I agree with you. It's embarrassing to be a Muslim, but you know,
Yeah,
all of us, we sometimes we have our failure, and the good thing is, you know, like when a horse, he fell down, he stand up and he run again.
right.
That is
Yeah,
not
fail
really,
forward.
yeah. So you know,
Right.
but the problem is, the shame will be if you fail and you stay there because you think you are right there, you know. But you mentioned the bazaar. Muhammad, even he mentioned that in the heaven there's a bazaar, and the bazaar have a Playboy magazine.
Yeah.
You know that hadith, right?
Yeah, I've heard it a couple of times, and I heard you go over it too. You know, and just like you always bring the reference, you know, and it's reality. No matter what anybody says, that's part of the teachings.
Yeah. What kind of heaven? There is a paradise in it, and in this paradise, you know, people they have they buy images of women and men, and when you like the image, you go inside and you have sex with it.
Right.
I mean,
and you know, it's never made me feel comfortable, even when I was a Muslim and I read this verse about the what surah is that? I forgot now. I used to be more better with the reference, but about the boys, they look like pearls, and 300 slaves.
yeah,
What? Why?
yeah.
I don't even want, even this life. I don't want any slave. I want to do everything for myself. If I drop something on the floor, I don't expect anybody, even the restaurant, the waitress, to pick it up. I'm going to clean it. So why I need slaves in paradise? You know, it's disgusting. I want to do things myself. It makes me feel better as a more valued man, you know, to do. So it's like I start realizing later that's just so ridiculous. You need servant.
First of all, they when they speak to black people, they mention that Islam against slavery, and then you promise me in heaven that I will have slaves. I mean, who is the stupid here? Either slavery is good or slavery is bad. Now we are in heaven, yet in heaven there is no justice. In heaven there is slaves. Why? A human being will be my slave just because I pray to Allah 5 times a day and I killed some people, so he will make me have 80,000 little boys, and they are little children, which mean not only they are slaves, this is a child abuse, which make it even more evil a crime. And what about the virgins?
It's ridiculous. And I like what you said one time. You said it's better to be a slave in this life. At least you know you're going to die, or that eventually end. But slave in there will never end. It made me laugh.
You will have eternity of slavery.
Right.
And you know, I challenge the Muslim, by the way, who keep always speaking to the black African, which really the black African, I really admire them, because you see they had a lot of suffering because of slavery. But all of us, we need to remember history. That history always was history of slavery. And in Africa, as an example, they used to slave each other too. And even the Jews, they've been enslaved by African. You know, remember the slaves of the Jews by the Egyptian. Egyptian are African. So slavery was a common practice. But then we have a religion who claim that they are against slavery, but yet everything in this religion teaching that slavery is absolutely a way of life. How many slaves Muhammad he used to own? You see, I saw a video of a Muslim guy speaking in like a town hall or Texas, something like this. He said, in the same building here, the one who built this building, the mayor, he used to be a slave owner. And I said to myself, look who's talking. A Muslim giving a speech about slave owners, when he's a prophet, he was slave owner, and not only that, he enforced slavery. There's many stories of his.
Another thing they say too, I'm sure you're aware of this. Some of the scholars have the opinion that those slaves in the paradise will be the children of the kuffar. You know,
amongst
and also you said before, I wanted to touch on. You talked about the deeds, you know, about the measurement and stuff like that. It was funny because it reminded me of something. I remember studying in Islam, you know, with the scholars, they were speaking, or a book I read that it said, if you don't have any more good deeds, your bad deeds will go on the Christian or Jew or whatever, and you will suck their good deeds. So if you don't, you know, you have no more, all your bad deeds is gone, and then what can you do? It goes to them, and
and
it's just
you will hack their good deeds. You know.
Right. So
what a fake religion.
That's what's going to happen. You know, is according to this foolish, hallucinating nonsense. But I'm just really thankful and grateful that, and it's past, and instead of being regretful, now I could at least use my story maybe to start working in this and follow your footsteps and, to try to save some other people.
Well, I'm so happy for you, my friend, and feel free to call me anytime you wish if you have
All right.
any comment you say, and especially because you have an experience of something happening with you, so people they can learn from someone who examined this cult and he joined it for some time. How many years you been as a Muslim before you leave?
Too long. It was like I said to you one time. It was early 2000s when I was on Pal Talk with you, and and arguing.
Oh, you used to talk to me in Talk? You used to talk to me in the mic?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, for me, it's very hard to remember.
The red dot get bounced. That's because I was being foolish like everybody else. I said, "What your Bible says, your Bible this and da 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 da," and the same thing like you hear them saying nowadays. But
It's
instead of
it's funny. It's funny that how time come, and the one you think he is an enemy for you, you discover that he's a friend.
Right.
And you think maybe at that time maybe you wish to kill me, maybe.
Yeah. Or you praying, oh, Allah curse him. Everything in Islam is about curse, like you said. When when you talked about this debate between the Muhammad and the Christian, I think it was the Christians from Najran, right? And before, I never connected dots on this either until you enlightened me, where you said, "What kind of nonsense is this? They want to come for a debate," and he said, "Bring your wife, bring my wife, bring your kid, bring." And Allah cursed the liar. Now I realize after hearing you, it's a really disgusting and absurd way to deal with somebody. They just want to debate with you.
All right. Thank you, my friend, for calling. And please feel free to call me again anytime you wish. And maybe you can invite some Muslims to debate me, by the way. That would be a good idea too. If somebody he's a convert or somebody, you try to save him, let him have a conversation with me, because it's always started this way. In the beginning, they reject what you say, they get angry, but then after some time, they will find out that we are not telling anything except the truth. Thank you, my friend, for calling. Take care. God bless.
All hand declares the glory of the risen Lord. Who can compare with the beauty of the Lord? Forever he will be the Lamb upon I bow the knee, oh Lord, willingly worship you alone. Oh Lord, my God, for you are worthy of praise. You are worthy of glory. I love to worship you. I love you. Who can compare with your beauty? We stand and worship you, Lord. We love to stand in your presence. Worship you. Thank you. Thank you that we can come before you.